Eifo tzedek behin tzedek yelachem. It's a mitzvah in this week's Torah portion that you have to have just scales. Okay, so there was a certain town, I understand this was in Hungary. There was a certain town, and the rabbis of the town, they were very holy rabbis, and it was let known to them in a dream that there was going to be a terrible plague, pestilence in the town among the children. And children were going to start dying. And certainly, sure enough, the children of the town started to get sick. So the rabbis gathered everyone together, and they prayed and they fasted and they gave charity. They did everything they could. And the synagogues were packed full of weeping mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, children. Everyone was weeping, crying, save the children. They tried everything that they could. And nothing helped. So they made what was called a Shailat Chalom. We talked about this before. There's different opinions of what it is, but as far as I know, a Shailat Chalom was that they would write a question down on a piece of paper, all the rabbis. They would fast beforehand, and they would do these prayers and special, whatever his process is. They would put that under their pillow, and they would wake up in the morning with an answer written on a piece of paper, an answer from heaven. Or they would all have a dream, and in the dream, the answer would be in the dream. So they all did this, and they went to sleep. They woke up in the morning, and there was the answer. You have to get Shmerel the butcher to pray. So they all got the same answer. Shmerel the butcher, he didn't even come to the prayers when everyone was in this. Everybody thought, hey, one second, it wasn't in my synagogue. Was he in your synagogue? No, he doesn't come. One of the rabbis said, you know why he doesn't come? Because he can't read. He said, he can't read. Nobody tried. He said, we tried to teach him to read. We tried a lot of times, and he just can't read, you know. I mean, he remembered some of the prayers, and so he comes on Shabbos and he prays, and he, you know, puts on tefillin in his store or whatever, but he's ashamed. He can't read, he can't pray. And he said, well, you know, it said here, we got to get Shmerel the butcher. He's got to be the one that he can save the day. So the rabbis go to Shmerel the butcher's shop, and he thinks maybe they're coming to close it down or something. You know, all the rabbis are there. What? Did I do something wrong? They said, no. We got an answer for God, from God. That, you know, there's a plague. He says, yeah, I know. What can I do? You know, everybody's, he says, I know, but, you know, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to be in the synagogue for too long. I just don't. So you have to forgive me. He said, well, listen, we just got an answer that you're the only one who can save us. Me? He said, yeah, you have to lead the prayers. He says, listen, rabbis, don't make fun of me. You know, you got the wrong man. You know, I can't pray. I can't read. I don't know. I know how to say Shema Yisrael, and I can say a few things. I mean, if you want me to say, just stand up there and say Shema Yisrael over and over again, I can do it, but if it'll stop the children from, I'll do it, but I'm very ashamed, you know, of that. He says, listen, that's what we got, and that's what it has to be. I say, okay, so let's go now. So they go, they're going to the synagogue. As soon as they come in the front door, everybody's then, they're waiting, they're all looking at Shmerel. They come to the synagogue. As soon as they open the door, they get in the synagogue. All of a sudden, Shmerel, he sort of breaks loose from everybody, and he runs back to his butcher's store. Runs back. So what are they going to do? They're going to run after him, you know. It's not nice, you know. They don't know what to do. And, you know, what's he running for? He's that embarrassed. So they're talking over what exactly they should do. You know, maybe to send one of the rabbis who's like very friendly with him, and he'll talk to him. All of a sudden, the doors open up, and in comes Shmerel with a wheelbarrow. And in the wheelbarrow are his scales from his store. So they said, what is this? You know, so he picks the he's a strong guy, big butcher, big strong. He picks the scales up, and he goes up on the podium, in the middle of the synagogue. There's a podium, and he says, "Listen, God, I can't read, I can't write. I'm a very, a simple person. I really love you, and you know me. I don't know you, but you know me. But one thing I have, maybe this is I don't know why you picked me, why, but it's you that picked me. Maybe the reason is because of my scales. I mean, I check my scales like every hour. I check the scales to see that they're accurate. So listen, God, listen." He takes the scales and he lifts them up over his head and he says, "Listen, God, you take the scales. Just give us the children. Take the scales. That's, please." And he starts crying. He breaks down crying. Everybody's weeping. And he puts the scales down. And one of the rabbis says, "I just got news that some of the children are feeling better." And the ladies are coming in. All of a sudden, they're screaming, they're crying, my son is better. My grandson is better. And they're happy and they're weeping. So, it worked. It worked. Everyone's happy. They lift him up on their shoulders, and he just wants to get out of there. He doesn't want the attention. He doesn't want nothing. So the next day, the rabbis are talking the next day. Says, "Listen, that was incredible. That was a real miracle. But listen, I don't understand. Was this such a big deal about his scales? I mean, this is a religious community. All the stores, there's a lot of store owners. They all the ones that have scales, their scales are accurate. Everyone's scales are accurate. No, for sure. How can it possibly be?" So they went around and they checked all the other scales, and they found out each one was off like, 1/10 of a gram, 1/2 of a gram, one way or the other. It wasn't exact. Why? Because they checked their scales once a month, how much do you have to scale? The pieces of the scale, they're iron. How much are they going to wear away? But everybody had their scales, and he checked his scales every hour. He was crazy. He checked the scales every single hour to see that they hadn't worn down. He compared one to the other. So because of his insane care about his scales had to be accurate, because that's what God wants, is because of that, in that merit, he saved the entire town. So it comes to tell us that sometimes craziness pays off. Have a good day, everyone.
Wonderful story. Todah.